Alright, we're ready to go. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Mother Chicken Siamese. My name is Creepy Trucky, and this is How to Draw If You Can't Draw. And today on How to Draw If You Can't Draw, we are doing RDJ Tony Stark. Okay, we're gonna put up a grayscale background. Say hello to Kitty. What do you want, Kitty? No, you can't have the chicken, Kitty. Okie dokie. And previously, I have done this rough sketch of what I want to draw. This is actually the third panel in my comic, and we basically have a Tony. Excuse me. Oh God, I'm coughing so much. I think I have the beer bug. Ugh, I'm gonna die. Not really. Okay, and we have Tony Stark lying down on the bed, and he's looking at the what Nebula is doing with her hands, and she's basically messing around with Star-Lord's Zune. And right, and today I'm going to show you how I paint out the sketch and draw RDJ, Robert Downing Jr.'s face. And before we begin, I'll show you what equipment I'm using. I'm using Adobe Photoshop Elements 7 and a Wacom Kitty. No, you can't have the chicken. Shoot. Sorry about that. I'm using a Wacom Kintic, which is this tablet here, and it is a expensive piece of equipment, but I got mine cheap, secondhand from a friend of mine, a fellow artist. Now you don't need to use this expensive equipment. There's cheaper alternatives that doesn't have the display on the tablet itself, which means it's a little bit harder to use. But there are cheaper alternatives, and push comes to shove, you can draw on Photoshop using your mouse. It's just going to take a lot more time. Okay, and we'll also be using photo references from Google of what Robert Downing Jr. looks like, and we'll be also using a reference from a previous panel I drew, just to get out the colors that I'll need. I'll leave that on here. And first thing we got to do is I'm going to cut out the sketch and rotate it so that it's easier to paint. So I just select this part of his face and include all the reference lines, like see these lines of the arrows that signify which direction the light is coming from, and this arrow over here which signify what his eyes is looking at. And we just gonna just gonna transform it straight on this layer. Just turn it 90 degrees. Oh dear, his face looks terrible. And we're gonna put it here so we have lots of room to work with. We open up a new layer to paint on. Stick that layer underneath the rough sketch layer. I'm just gonna quickly label it paint on the layers bar, and then we're gonna zoom in. The problem, we have to zoom in because at certain zoom levels the pixels don't show up very well. And we're going to paint underneath the sketch to start with, and we're just going to select the color of our reference or palette if you want to be really professional about it, and then quickly paint. We just paint the face in. This shape of his face, quickly take a look at the photo reference to see if we got the shape of the face right. A square with a slight jaw, okay? Alright. Yeah, more or less. That's more or less right. We have a jawline. We have a bit of the neck. We probably shouldn't do too much of the neck. Quick fill. And then we're going to do some quick shading. Pick a dark area of the skin. And reduce the pen size. We're going to shade in areas where there will be shadow against the light. This part over here against his nose. His nose is famous. The point of his nose is quite round. And okay, and his face lines. Eye bags. It's going to be heavier on this side. And then on the side of his head, that's going to block out the light. We're going to shade that. And the outlines of his jaw, cheekbone. We shade that. cheeks going to be on the opposite side of the light. They will be in shadow. So we shade that. Underneath the lip, part of the chin, they'll all be in shadow. And probably need to go a shade darker. Alright. We're just gonna select this and select another shade darker on the color wheel thingy. Well, it's not a color wheel in Photoshop, but it's usually a color wheel in other softwares that artists like to use. And okay, and probably paint out the nostril a little bit. And highlights. Just gonna select highlight, and this part of this head will be quite highlighted. Brow highlighted. Probably a furrowing of this brow will be highlighted. Now the nose is tricky. We probably have to fake the lighting on the nose just to get the outline of the nose out, because it's very important to get the nose shape instantly recognizable when you paint. As if you have an art teacher or been to art class before, they will tell you that the nose is the center of attention of a face, and it's most useful as your reference point. And if you have any round surfaces that will reflect a light, we're also gonna highlight it a bit. Basically the lips, highlight that a bit. Probably select the tongue, get some tongue color in there. And tip of the tongue will be illuminate lighter, so it'll be the lighter shade. The darker shade we will pick for the inside of the mouth where there'll be no light. And if you can see down his throat, we just go black. And probably select a light shade of gray. For his teeth, because I don't like using light yellow for teeth. I mean, it's more realistic, but it's just gonna look weird. Okay, and do that for the eyeball as well. Now we're not gonna get all the detail out because we are painting underneath the sketch. We're gonna make some errors, but this is what this video is about, and see how you're gonna fix that. And let's take a look. Have we got enough details? We lift the sketch, and it looks terrifying, doesn't it? All right, time to get to work. Probably don't need to zoom in anymore, but when we start working, you know what? Probably need to zoom in a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna move this down. And gonna zoom in a bit more. Bring it up to 100%. Okie dokie. And oh boy. Okay. This is basically hard work from here. What you got to do is you got to paint out the various details of RDJ's face. As before, we're gonna start with the nose. There's a T-zone around the nose, which is right here. And where am I doing? Okay, and we're gonna start painting out the T-zone. Choose the highlight. Check the photo again to see if we can get it right. Yeah, we can see the point of RDJ's nose is pretty big and reflects a lot of light, so we're gonna do a bit of that here. And this part of his nose will probably reflect a lot of light. Probably check the palette and get a shade down, maybe. We're gonna get a shade down. How long has this video been going on? Checking. And recording for 9 minutes. Okay, cool, with plenty of time. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna get more. Okay, we're gonna pick a color, and then we're gonna try sketch out on top of this what this nose should look like. and from there take some reference to do some shading. Yeah, there will be some shading here from the bridge of his nose to cast a shadow on his face. It should bring the rest of his nose into shadow as well. And I'm gonna decide the cheeks, his eye bags, and RDJ famously have a big double eyelids on his big eyes. This part will be in shadow. And the brow, his brow will be quite furrowed, so probably see if you can draw a bit of shade over here. Now, because in this, the inside of his eye will be in shadow, the expression, his eyelid, lower eyelid will be coming up a bit. Alright, and because it's round shape of his eyes or any round surfaces that will reflect a bit of light, we're going to highlight that a little bit on the eyelid, on the brow. Probably get more emotion in there. And resizing the brush to get it right. Choosing the shader tone. And stay to the end of the video to see the progress we've made from start to finish. Alright, probably need to take a look at his eye bags again. Now we can take a look at RDJ's face, what his eye bags look like. You can see it's quite wide out, but in this situation he's in distress in this picture, so we're going to draw them a bit more obvious. And we can take a look at how the shadow is cast against his eyeball, and we can make adjustments to our painting right now. Okay, and we're going to make adjustments to the painting to reflect that. This eyelid's going to go in. Okay, and check the photo again. Yep, and then there's a line above his eye, which we're going to paint in. That's not part of his eyelids, it's actually part of his brow, above the eye area. Is it defined? Check again his photo. And come back. Probably use black now. It's part of his T-zone on his face, not on his body. The T-zone on his face. Using black is a bit of a cheat, but you know, why not? Can probably swap the color out later. And double check his eyelid again. We want the eyelid to be, oh, okay, got it. Remember, this part is in shade. Probably just get a darker shade of the flesh tone. Is that it? Is that right? Check against the photo again. You will notice that we're doing a lot of checking against the photo. But we're not trying to copy the photo, we're trying to look for shapes in the 3D form of his face and knowing where to cast the shadows on the painting. And there's a bit of shadow over here on the side between his brow area and the eye. So I'm gonna change this down a little bit. I'm gonna the brows like this. Okay, check against the photo. No, I got it wrong. I made a mistake. Okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and start with the eyebrow so that I can get this thing right. This will be, of course, a temporary eyebrow. And since we're doing it on digital, we are not too concerned about how we are polluting the canvas with dark colors, because we can just paint it over really easily. And we check the eyebrow, see if that works right. More or less about the... Okay, we need to change the shape of the eyebrow a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. That's more or less it. And then using the eyebrow as a reference, we can go to look at the shading of what's happening on his eyebrow. And we can see that is the surface shape underneath his eyebrow, what it looks like. And then we can make a painting decision to do this. Right, we're basically wiping that out. And then we take a darker shade. Check against the photo. And go back to the painting. Alright. And we redraw his eyelid. Alright. Reduce the shade of the gray to signify light. We double check against the sketch for its eye direction. Yep. Just use black for the moment. Lift the sketch so we can see what we're painting. Fill in the iris. The curvature of the iris will determine which direction the eye is looking at. So we're gonna push it up here a little bit more. You're starting to see the face take shape. And adjust the eye bags to suit the outline of his face. It's more or less the shape of RDJ's eye bag, so you'll probably have an extra crease because of the distress that he is in right now in this picture. And we shaded for the black to bring out the shape. Probably adjust the eyebrow to make it more distressed looking. Okay, and now we can go back to the nose. When the area is in the deep shade, we use the darker shade. Check this area of the eye on the inside of his eye, and yeah, that shape is very obvious. We had to paint the inside the T-zone of his nose over here. That's quite an obvious sign of his feature. And then this shape of his eyelids and his brow. Yep. We need to draw that shape of his brow that connects to his T-zone in his face. Okay, lift the reference photo, go back down, and the brow is limited by this shade. Choose a slightly finer brush, and then make a connection. I'm not sure how. Does it look right? Check against the photo. Yeah, it does look a little bit right. There's a bit of a shape to it. This shape over here. we're gonna copy that. And on the other side, we have to use a lighter. We have to use something lighter because it's in an area of illumination. And paint here. Alrighty. Checking the time. We've been recording for 20 minutes. I think I better stop. Alright. So basically, we start off with a sketch like so of this, and then we go quickly paint it on the inside, and then we finished up with this. It's quite a few ways from being complete, but you can see the shape of the eye right here. On the next video, I'll show you the more progress. Thank you for watching. Please do critique my video if you have any pointers, criticisms, tips, etc. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Have a good day.